Today, today I am reading from the books 10x is easier than 2x by Dan Sullivan. This is the chapter 10x embraces abundance and rejects scarcity. As you all know, I read for 15 minutes at a stretch. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, no one can make your decisions for you. No one is you. No one has your unique vision or way of approaching life. No one has your unique ability. Thus, other people's advice can only take you so far. This reality hit me hard while writing this book. I was experiencing a great desire to go 10x in various areas of my life and work. But in order to do so, I had to have some difficult and uncomfortable conversations which were high stakes and had huge consequences. Many of my greatest mentors and advisors suggested I don't have these uncomfortable conversations but instead to play it safe. I was told by multiple people that I would lose my greatest opportunities, current and future, if I went forward with what I felt in my heart I wanted to do. In the end, I listened to myself and made important adjustments in various relationships and situations, and rather than destroying the relationship, my honesty built greater trust, commitment, and freedom for all. Trusting yourself and forging your unique path is actually what Robert Greene calls the X factor of mastery, as he explains. Mastery is not a function of genius or talent. It is a function of time and intense focus applied to a particular field of knowledge. But there is another element, an X factor that mastery inevitably possesses that seems mystical but is accessible to us all, whatever field of activity we are involved in. There is generally an accepted path to the top, but masters have a strong inner guiding system and a high level of self-awareness. Inevitably, these masters, as they progress in their career paths, make a choice at a key moment in their lives. They decide to forge their own route, one that others will see as unconventional, but this suits their own spirit and rhythms and leads them closer to discovering the hidden truths of their object of study. This key choice takes self-confidence and self-awareness, the X factor that is necessary for attaining mastery. Mastery is not just the ability to do something well, it's the ability to do something uniquely well. If it's not unique, innovative, and uninhibited self expression, then it's not true mastery. Mastery and uniqueness are inseparable. Thus, for you to reach your highest level of mastery and personal calling, you do so by taking your unique ability seriously and fully developing and expressing it. You develop your unique ability by first being increasingly honest with yourself and other people about what you most want for yourself and your life. Don't justify your wants to anyone. No one else is you. No one else wants what you want. No one else has your unique ability and your unique vision and desires. Second, expanding your vision and thinking exponentially bigger for yourself about what you can be, do, and have. Continually hone your unique ability, that which excites you, energizes you, and which you see potential for never ending improvement. And utilize your unique ability to bring forth your 10x vision. Become increasingly clear on who you are and what makes you unique and different from everyone else on this planet. Third, clarifying your ideal future self and what that would be doing. Be very specific about this. What context are they in? What mission are they fulfilling? What is the cause they are about? What unique ability does your future self have, which they are utilizing to dramatically impact and advance what they most care for? What are the unique standards your future self lives by and has normalized, even though they may seem unfathomable, and unrealistic to current you? Fourth, clarifying the 20% that if you develop greater mastery in, you will experience your desired 10x jump in freedom of time, money, relationships, and overall purpose. Fifth, the last is letting go of the 80% and allowing yourself to explore your curiosities and interests. Each time you go 10x and transform yourself and your life, you will be clearer on your unique ability. For example, I could say, my unique ability is to learn, understand, and distill complex ideas in a compelling, simple, and useful manner. However, I could be even more specific than this, defining my unique ability to position the highly nuanced value I provide to highly specific people. For instance, I could say my unique ability is to clarify and conceptualize highly complex ideas in the form of compelling, story driven, and science based books. A word of warning when it comes to defining your unique ability. It's much bigger than anything you specifically do. More directly, your unique ability is the unique way you approach what you do when you are living at your best. It's not tied to any specific activity. Although you can frame it that way strategically and thoughtfully if you would like. There is danger in defining your unique ability based on a specific skill such as writing. 10x jumps are often require a great evolution in your unique ability, so you want to avoid putting yours in a box. As decision making expert Annie Duke stated in her book Quit, when your identity is what you do, then what you do becomes hard to abandon because it means quitting who you are. It's best to chunk your unique ability beyond any finite game to the higher and more infinite game, which is beyond context or any specific activity. This is you at your essence and what you are ultimately doing beneath any specific activity. In this way, I may define my unique ability as connecting with truth, internalizing and being transformed by it, and teaching it in such a way that it transforms those who hear it. Given that unique ability is at the core of who you are and thus highly personal, it requires extreme commitment and courage to connect with, develop, and utilize your unique ability. If it doesn't feel like you are radically exposing yourself, then it's not unique ability. If it is not transforming you rapidly, it's not unique ability. If it doesn't feel like play and raw creativity, it is not unique ability. If the rabbit hole doesn't go far down, it's not unique ability. If you are not innovating, breaking rules, and changing boundaries for what reality means in a particular discipline or craft, then it's not unique ability. The scariest and most exciting thing you will ever do is be your truest self, holding nothing back and with no apology. This is how you develop mastery in your unique ability. What about you? There are four questions. First one, what is your unique ability? Second one is, what is the unique value you provide to others which no one else can? The third one is, what is the 10x jump that excites you most, which requires you go all in on your unique ability to realize? And the final question is, what is the 80% of your life keeping you busy but unproductive? because it's keeping you outside your unique ability. Next topic is create transformational relationships where all parties are the buyer. The only man I know who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew each time he sees me. The rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. It is a quote by George Bernard Shaw. When P. Rod was offered the initial sponsorship with Nike, he knew what he wanted. He wanted to have a signature pro model shoe as part of the deal. Even though getting a highly lucrative opportunity with Nike was a life changing opportunity, if P. Rod didn't get that signature shoe as part of the deal, he was happy to walk away. P. Rod knew what he wanted. He wasn't desperate. He was operating out of want, not need. He was clear on the standards he held for himself, which he himself chose irrespective of what anyone else thought or suggested. Because P. Rod's unique ability as a skateboarder and artist was becoming so valuable, he was confident calling the shots in his life. He had that confidence. He knew what he brought to the equation. He knew what he could do. He knew there was no competition. He had gone 10x multiple times before. He had transformed. He had transformed himself and his life again and again, watching his unique ability become profound, undeniable, and exciting. He was playing his own game. He was playing the infinite game. He was free. He continually applied the 10x process to transform his life, evolve his unique ability, and expand his freedom. As a result, he could be increasingly choosy and selective about what worked for him and what didn't. He wasn't desperate to be in any partnerships or relationships because he understood the value of his unique ability and he was operating based on want, not a need. This takes us one level further into Dan Sullivan's strategic mindsets, which he teaches only the highest level of entrepreneurs. This next concept is one Dan calls always be the buyer. Always be the buyer. There is a fundamental and crucial distinction between what Dan calls a buyer or a seller. Being the buyer means you have clear standards for yourself and you know what you want. The opposite is being a seller where you are desperate to be in a particular situation because you think you need it. As the seller, you will twist yourself into uncomfortable shapes to be accepted. You are unclear on and uncommitted to your intrinsically crafted standards. You continually lower or change your standards to get the sale. In every social situation, you are either being a buyer or a seller. The difference between a buyer and a seller is the buyer can walk away. The buyer is not desperate to be there. The buyer is the one who does the rejecting, whereas the seller is the one who gets rejected. P. Rod was totally willing to walk away from Nike if he didn't get exactly what he wanted. P. Rod was the buyer. Together, he and Nike formed a transformational relationship and collaboration that has now spanned 17 years, 10 signature shoes, and millions of sold pairs. Together, both P. Rod and Nike have innovated and evolved many times, expanding far beyond what they initially considered or planned when the partnership was formed. The only reason they have continued to evolve and expand so much is because P. Rod was the buyer. Had he been the seller, he would have lost his confidence and conviction toward what he most wanted. This would have impacted everything he did, even his skating, since how you do anything is how you do everything. Once you allow yourself to be the seller, then you are selling yourself short. You are letting some finite kid define who you are and what you can do. You are being externally, not internally driven. You are operating based on perceived need, not want. To go 10x, you must be the buyer. Then, as the buyer, you form transformational collaborations with other buyers, wherein the whole becomes infinitely different and better than the sum of all parts. That's it for the day.